A Liam Walker mystery. The rain in Oak Creek didn't just fall, it haunted. It was a cold, relentless drizzle that turned the towering Oregon pines into jagged black silhouettes against a charcoal sky. Liam Walker, a man whose face carried the exhaustion of 1,000 city secrets, gripped the steering wheel of his SUV. He wasn't here for a vacation. He was here because of a letter from a dead man. Liam walked into the Oak Creek diner, the smell of stale coffee and damp wood hitting him instantly. At the counter sat Sarah Miller. She didn't look like a small-town girl. She looked like someone who had been looking over her shoulder for 20 years. "You're the journalist," Sarah said, not looking up from her cloth. "You should have stayed in New York, Liam. This town eats truth and spits out bones." "I have a key, Sarah," Liam replied, his voice low, "and a name. Does 1984 mean anything to you?" The diner went silent. The clinking of silverware stopped. Sarah finally looked at him, her eyes wide with a mix of terror and pity. That was the year the sun stopped shining on this town. Later that evening, guided by the cryptic notes in the letter, Liam stood at the edge of Moonlight Lake. The water was like black glass. He knelt in the mud, digging near the roots of the lightning-scarred oak tree. His fingers hit cold metal. He pulled out a rusted copper key, etched with the numbers 1984. It was the key to the old mayor's forgotten vault. As he brushed the dirt off, the hair on the back of his neck stood up. A pair of headlights flickered in the distance, cutting through the fog like the eyes of a predator. He wasn't alone. Liam met Sarah at a lonely gas station under a flickering yellow light. He showed her the file he'd recovered from the vault. It contained names, the founding families of Oak Creek, linked to a massive land grab cover-up that cost lives. Suddenly, a black sedan with tinted windows pulled into the shadows of the station. It didn't pump gas, it just sat there, idling like a growling beast. "They're here," Sarah whispered, her breath hitching. "Liam, if you publish this, we won't make it to the highway." They retreated to a secluded cabin deep in the woods. Inside, with only a flickering flashlight for company, Liam stared at the documents. He looked out the grimy window into the darkness, knowing the men in the black sedan were out there, waiting for the light to go out. He had two choices: burn the papers and live a quiet lie, or send the files to his editor and start a war. He looked at Sarah, then back at the dark woods. "The world needs to know," Liam said, his jaw tightening with determination. He hit send on his laptop, just as the sound of footsteps crunched on the gravel outside. The hunt had begun, but the truth was finally free.